Since day one, art has been my biggest passion, and I enjoy art in many different forms. I've always tried to see the art in most things, but to be honest, for me, art communicates better than words. I am Chad Paramore Sr., also I go by Chad Sr., and I am a student studying graphic design at Full Sail University. Just to give a little background about who I am, I come from, a pretty broken home, and it's always been something for me to say, just because you come from a broken home doesn't mean you have to have broken dreams. My parents' marriage was pretty messy, with a divorce that followed that was even messier. So, that was something that brought a lot of angst and anger to my personality. But being the person I am, I was determined to never let that define me. So, I built my foundation on faith and bettering myself. In middle school and high school, that would be probably when I came out of my shell the most. I always wanted to be the life of every classroom. I always wanted to be the life hanging out with everyone. So through that, I was able to connect and make a lot of friends. I was always a people pleaser. So I made friends with teachers and students and counselors and all kinds of people. Maintaining my passion throughout the entire time. I was in bands in and out of my life throughout that entire time, and then that's also when I met my current wife. We started dating in the 8th grade, and we've been together ever since. So that's a little background on that. The only unfortunate side to being such a likable person during high school was that I was liked by my teachers so much that instead of teaching me everything, they would just kind of pass me, which was great at the time, but didn't really work when I was going through college. I struggled a lot through college. Probably made it about my first year and then decided it was time to leave that and just work and put my wife through college. During that time, my wife got pregnant and we had our first miscarriage, and that was really rough. In fact, it broke our spirits quite a bit. But ultimately, we stepped up to the occasion and we grew stronger because of that. Around the time that my wife graduated, we got pregnant again and we had our first son. Throughout this time, still being a musician, things were looking up and paying off as a musician, and we were hit with a really great opportunity to take our band on the road and sign with a great label. I was really hesitant because our firstborn son was maybe not even a year old, and my wife was still looking through work, and I was still working a pretty heavy job. But my wife encouraged me to seek that. She told me just to have faith, and I've always taken her word for it when she says to have faith. So I did, and touring across the country and being a musician has created some of the best memories that I will never lose. And I've made some of the best friendships, lasting friendships to this day. And eventually that slowed down. Through that time, that's when I started being a graphic designer to pay bills on the road. And when it slowed down, being a graphic designer just came naturally. That seemed like the next natural step. So after being a stay-at-home dad for probably just a few months, and then realizing that I could never just be a stay-at-home dad, I sought out going back to school. And here I found Full Sail. So we did everything we could to make that work for me, and so I started Full Sail, and then a year into Full Sail we decided, hey, this would be a good time to make another big change in our lives. So we packed up everything we had and we moved to California, and from Dallas. So it was halfway across the country. What I've learned at my time at Full Sail has been insane. I mean, I thought I knew everything there was to know about Photoshop coming into it, and I knew absolutely nothing about Illustrator or any other types. And Full Sail has definitely widened my range and my portfolio. Having an account with lynda.com has shown me that I don't just have to stick with one side of design. I don't have to be a one-trick pony at all. And it's just opened up my world in so many different ways, with game design or game graphics or even just media design. Lots of great things have happened. I've gotten to work with several great companies. I've been designing since 2007, but before that I was a therapist for 2 mentally handicapped children, and those were some of the best years of my life. Getting to know those kids and being a manager at that house, I got to manage the teams that built the lesson plans, so we ultimately helped those kids make some really great advancements, and some of the best kids I've ever met, truly. My patience and my design, my team building skills, I think give me an edge for whatever I really do truly try to pursue after college. Lots of windows open, and just keeping my options open as I go along. Creating a mantra for my design was actually kind of a difficult thing for me. I've always kind of lived by other people's words, and so coming up with my own words was really kind of difficult. Trying to find one specific line that really defined the way that I view art was no easy task for me. I took from a really great artist named Scott Adams. His quote was, "Creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes, and art is knowing which ones to keep." And ever since I heard that, I've been kind of living my life through those words, and doing the mantra really made me step back and think, what about those words, appealed to me? Why were they so important to me? So I was forced to sit back and look at those words and say, how can I make that relevant to my life? Because art is such an important thing to me. So my mantra became, creativity is the willingness to fail, and art is the willingness to get back up. Chad Paramore Sr. Also, I go by Chad Sr. or just Senior for fun. I am currently a student seeking refuge on this project.